You hear the music, you know what time it is. Time for McFarland Energy, the heating, cooling, and bioheat delivery pros that Eastern Mass and all of Cape Cod depend on. McFarlandEnergy.com. They bring Rob Bradford to you every week.
Oh.
Yes. Bradfo, McFarland to you.
McFarland and Scott McFarland is off the hook. The Red Sox lost, so that means he does not have to get the baseballs and boring tattoo.
Oh.
Him, Alex Cora, Lucas Giolito.
It's true.
Probably why they lost in retrospect. Cora took a dive in Game 3. He's like, I don't
just want to
this
take the heat off the Dork podcast.
You should make Kyle Hudson get the tattoo now. It's punishment.
Yeah.
Well, we've got others in line to get the tattoo. We have others still in consideration. Michael Kopech, he's still in the mix. So.
All right, very good.
Yeah. So anyway,
you got a couple of futures out there.
The great thing about McFarland is that it was so hot and now it's so cold, and you got the cover of the
just as important.
It's like the baseball season,
it's
right?
True.
Yeah,
all year long. Well, baseball season done for the Red Sox, done now for the Yankees as well, which we've been celebrating a bit today. What's in store this offseason? I know you told afternoons. You told afternoons last week. You're like, I'm confident they're going to spend something like that. I don't know if words in your mouth.
I mean, I think they'll spend some money
on what?
Well, I think what you want to know what I think they should spend money on.
No. What do you think they're going to do?
Oh, I do think they are not blind to the fact that they got to get some guys to hit home runs. I mean, I think if you look at this team, what this team needs, that you say, well, you can pitching, you can make a case. This you can make a case. That you can make a case. You can't really make a case about finding guys that hit home runs unless you think Tristan Casas is going to appear out of nowhere. Which I don't think a lot of people do, including them.
I was going to say, even Breslow when he was asked about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that shouldn't have surprised anyone. No. I mean, I think what they'll do with Casas, and I don't know when he's going to come back, if he'll be ready on opening day, but it's not complicated. Go play in Worcester, prove that you can play, and then go from there. But I think that they definitively need a guy who can hit home runs, a guy who is a presence in the middle of the order, along with keeping Alex Bregman, of course. And that guy, I have tied myself in the knots, and I know in the afternoon show I said they're not going to sign him, but I am going to make it my mission for them to sign him because I am like the Wizard of Oz. I'm behind the curtain. I'm saying that you should do this. Alex Bregman, you should sign him eventually. It took him a while. Pete Alonso, they should absolutely sign. I can convince myself, and this isn't
It fits like every need they have, doesn't it?
I'm glad you said that. We're on the same. We're simpatico.
Yes,
and because it feels like Bregman in a lot of ways last year, where their models can show, well, this isn't the guy to sign. You're going to overpay for him and this and that. But there are certain guys that fit perfectly in a lot of different ways. And for him, for the Red Sox, he fits in a lot of different ways. The side of the plate he hits from, what he does, he hits home runs. He is a guy who is a great in the clubhouse. He's also a guy who is really, really good at one of the most underrated stats in all of baseball, and that is playing in games.
Yeah, seriously.
Sincerely,
I know.
He's played, I think, 162 2 straight years.
Yeah.
Only one player in the last 4 years have played more games than Pete Alonso has. That is something to me.
Vlad? Do you know
good?
Who is it?
So.
Yeah, Vlad plays a lot too. Do you know who it is?
What's his name from Atlanta? Matt Olson.
Oh, Olson plays.
Yeah, Matt Olson.
I like that.
Yeah. So, but for the Red Sox, much like Bregman was, he is the guy that fits. He is the guy that you pay the money for. He is the guy you spend on. I wouldn't have said that last year because we all thought maybe Casas was going to be the guy. But for where this organization is at right now, he is. I just think he's worth spending that aforementioned money.
He fits even better than Bregman because that caused the whole Devers controversy. So it's like it made sense.
Well,
we needed that player.
Thought he was going to play second base.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I guess there's a little bit of that. But as for Bregman, do you think it's a certainty that he opts out?
Everybody says so. I'm not convinced.
Okay, neither am I.
And I think some of the people in the Red Sox aren't convinced either. There was a reason why they didn't negotiate with him. I mean, yeah, at the end, I know that Scott Boras said, oh, well, we're going to let him focus on the postseason. That's fair. That's fine. But I think you had opportunities to at least broach the subject with him, and they didn't. Why? Because I think there is a very real chance that they think that he might not opt out. Or maybe he likes it so much that the negotiations for an extension is going to supersede. They don't need to negotiate with him. But I do think that all these reports saying he's absolutely going to opt out, maybe. But the problem is that I look at it from the viewpoint, he goes in the open market, good luck finding that long-term deal. Like, I don't even think, and I know the qualifying offer isn't attached,
Yeah, that screwed him last year, right?
Yeah, and Boris that'll be the first thing that Boris says. But at the same time, you're a year older. You know, you had a worse year than you did last year.
You missed 50 games.
Yeah, you had a worse year war-wise like you did last year. This comes down to this. Simply put, for me, he means more to the Red Sox than he does to another team in free agency. I just look at it that way. So I could see the scenario where they do get a different deal done. But, boy.
Like, how many years would he be looking for? Because he really has two at like $84 or $82 million like set for him.
Well, okay. So you heard rumblings that the Detroit was willing to go 6 or 7 years with him.
Yeah, last
Could
year.
you see him get 6 or 7 years off of this?
No.
And for the Red Sox.
Look, and I don't want to trash him because I
like him a lot.
I like him and I want him back. But if you're talking about what he could get on the market based on the year he just had, my answer is no.
Yeah, and once again, I come back to the Red Sox, how he fits with the Red Sox. And these other teams, maybe they say, oh, he can fit with us just as well. Well, for the Red Sox, he means a lot because we know the position he plays, what he is in the clubhouse. That was an enormous thing, having that alpha in the clubhouse finally. I mean, one of the takeaways in the last day when they lost, you know, you go in the visiting clubhouse, you know, end of the year. I've seen a million of those, and some people are almost crying. Some people are packing the bags, whatever. But Bregman was going to every single locker, to every single guy. And not only like just saying hello or see you later, but having like meaningful conversations. I was over with Peyton Tolley talking to him, and he just goes, like, he comes up and he's like, okay, yeah, you know, we're going to work on this. We're going to work on that. We're going to work on this. And, you know, Peyton Tolley is like, yeah, Alex bleeping Bregman. Like, I love Tolley.
Yeah, he doesn't sound like a guy who's leaving.
Well, I mean,
or he's just like such an over the top.
We don't know. I mean, again, Boris is going to say, this is what we think we can get for you. And I think that even though his wife goes to Harvard, even though he likes it here, if Boris comes out and said, this is your big chance to get this 7-year contract, and I think you can get it for you because the qualifying offer isn't attached, then maybe he'll opt out. But the reality is that you still have another year to opt out. Right? You're going to make more, undeniably, you're going to make more money
in this next year.
Than he would in any deal that he's going to get AAV-wise going forward. So, yeah, but I do think that for the Red Sox point of view, look at it that way, that's also hugely important.
It could be like a JD Martinez situation where every year you're like, I think he's going to opt out, and he doesn't.
But he didn't even come close. Like, I never like,
because he had really good seasons, but it's like, oh yeah, it's a good contract. It's like it's year to year, but like, it's good.
Yeah, and I get it where, you know, Bregman wants the long-term deal, and he doesn't want to get in a situation where he's 32, 33 looking for the long-term deal. But I just don't know if this is the year to do it off of. For him, I was like, okay, give me my 40. And I'll put up better numbers this year, and we'll see it.
And then
all
have
over
a real
again.
conversation about it. Now, we off and on all season, it was about Bregman and his contract, less so about Trevor Story and his ability to leave. He was so much better than I thought he could possibly be. I was very down on Trevor Story. The guy barely played. You took him out of Coors Field. Even when he did play, he didn't hit. You're like, I don't know about this guy. Awesome season. Credit to him. What do you think his future is?
I think he stays. I think that's the tone certainly that he had at that last day. That's the tone he had throughout, and he entered the conversation. I remember doing a podcast with him in the middle of the year, and I brought that up just because people like talking about this. But I'm like, why am I even asking this? And he's like, no. He basically said, no, I love it here. This is where I want to stay forever. But at that point he hadn't had the year that he did. So, but I do think that he's still making really good money for the next couple of years. And he really does like it here. I think that's even less of a conversation than Bregman.
You had the story at the trade deadline with good insight, really good insight, on what the Red Sox were offering Minnesota. It was 2 of 3, if I have the prospects right, of Tolley, the password,
Garcia,
and Arias. Was that the other one?
Yeah.
So they offered Minnesota 2 out of those 3. Now Keefe has made this point.
Tolley, and then one of the other 2.
Okay,
and then a couple other guys.
And Minnesota.
I don't know who the couple other guys were.
Minnesota could make their selection to get Joe Nathan. Now Keefe has made this point.
Joe Ryan.
I'm sorry.
I'd take Joe Nathan.
I take Joe Nathan.
He could probably save a couple more games.
Yeah. Joe Ryan, excuse me. So Keefe has made this point. Last year, the asking price of the deadline for Crochet was very high. Then you get to the offseason, it has come down. I mean, what would it take to get someone like Joe Ryan from Minnesota? Is it that same package? Could it be centered around someone like Abreu or Duran?
I think it's probably around that same package. But the problem is now you're going to have more teams probably giving because you only had, I think, the Cubs and the Red Sox maybe really desperate to get that guy. And as we've talked about a million times, those deals don't get done at the deadline. Deals Cease 2 years ago, Crochet last year, Ryan this year. They don't usually get done. They're testing the waters for the offseason, and then boom, here comes the prospects. And I think that everybody, what they have going for them is that everybody throughout baseball now said, why not? Like, why wouldn't you do the Crochet deal? And I don't know if that package is the equivalent of the Crochet deal, to be honest with you. They say they have enough. But do they have enough? I don't think they want to trade Conley early. I think that Peyton Tolley maybe. But I don't
so me and Keefe have actually gone back and forth on this. You think they'd rather, if they could keep one or the other, they'd keep Early over Tolley?
Right now, I mean, I think some of it's recency bias. But I think that because Tolley really had a problem with the secondary stuff, and Conley Early was like
his 6 pitches.
His 6 pitches, all of them were awesome. That's usually a good thing.
Yeah.
But
throwing darts from the left side is also pretty good.
But, I think that for the Red Sox point of view, it's how much do you value that guy, Joe Ryan? Like, I would say this. Say, if you want to do this, if you want to be all in, then let's go. You took a huge step forward. You got a good team. Now go all in. Joe Ryan as the guy to complement Crochet that no doubt about it, no questions asked, and go get Alonso. You're on your way. You're the favorites to win the American League. Not even close. I don't know if they'll view it that way, but it would be nice to see another Crochet-like deal because we saw how this works. Good for you, Chicago White Sox.
Yeah.
You got major league players. You know who you got? You got Garrett Crochet.
Yeah, some White Sox fan was tweeting about, it's fun to watch Garrett Crochet, Lucas Giolito, Dylan Cease, and like one other guy. Like that could be their rotation right now, and they were all gone.
All of them.
There's some other stud too. I forget who it was. What does the outfield look like to start next season?
I think one guy is gone, probably. I mean, my guess is it either Duran or Abreu, because and they'll say, we have an embarrassment of riches, but that's what you need. And look at, we were thin at the end. But I don't think you can go into that year that way. I mean, this is not to say it's a Devers thing all over again, but you can't get uncomfortable. Like, you have to say, Roman Anthony, you're playing every day, right?
Yes.
Rafaela,
probably every day.
I think because of your defense,
it'd be nice if he could make that catch in Game 3. But I want him in center field. I want him in center field every day. Yes.
Which, by the way, a sneaky thing about Rafaela is that the whole thing with Josh Naylor. Josh Naylor's have the kid, and they were worrying that he was going to leave for paternity. Rafaela's wife is due, I think, tomorrow. Oh. So they could run into the same situation with him. I mean, nobody cares right now, but
if he was playing like an ALDS game?
Yeah. So anyway, but
maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, that's like me forcing my $800 voucher down the throats of you guys. I just want to get that information out.
But Jared Duran,
but Jared Duran and Abreu. So, I've actually had people ask executives, which do you think they'll trade? And I don't know. I don't know. I think recency bias, to use that term again. I think Jarren Duran, his brand has been hotter than it is now.
Yeah, it's been colder. Trust me, there was a stretch there where it was much colder, but it's definitely been hotter. Who would you get more for?
Let me ask you.
Yeah, who has more value?
Let's go around the room. Yeah, Abreu, Duran.
Am I trading Duran? I like Duran, but I'm trading Duran.
Yeah, it really soured me the last couple months.
Yeah.
He's basically a platoon player. He's not even a leadoff guy anymore. At least Abreu could run into 30 home runs.
He can't throw. He can't field. He doesn't really steal bases, and he didn't hit. Yeah. He didn't hit lefties at all last year.
No, I've been way up and down, hot and cold on Duran. I would move on from him.
Bizarre about someone reminded me about Duran when Roman Anthony came up, and they had that dynamic of Anthony hitting leadoff, Bregman hitting second, Duran hitting third, and Story hitting fourth. That dynamic was so good. And by the way, Jarren Duran was crazy good hitting third. And that we forget, that was the really, really good Jarren Duran. But I can't argue that. I can't argue what we saw at the end.
And those playoff at-bats.
Too many times. Yeah. But the problem with Abreu is that he has to stay healthy.
Yeah. Look, if you're telling me that Abreu gets the Joe Nathan trade, I keep saying that, Joe Ryan deal done, then trade Abreu over Duran.
Yeah, they could both go.
But who would I rather move out of those two? Then I would rather move him.
Yeah.
You can check out Bradfo's work, WEEI, Baseball Isn't Boring, on the Odyssey app. Go listen to it. You can follow him on Twitter, @Bradfo. Fun baseball season, Bradfo.
Oh, man, you guys, I had a blast doing this.
It was awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Who do you got winning the whole thing?
I'll go with Toronto, just because I have an $800 voucher to fly up there.
Beautiful. All right, good stuff, Bradford. Red Sox do anything this offseason, we'll be in touch. Okay,
All right. Sounds good. I'll be waiting by the phone.
Okay, sounds good.